Okay, today on the High Vibe Honey podcast, we have the gorgeous Kate Wilkinson. It's Kate Wilkinson on Instagram. And Kate and I have been in a mastermind together for a little while now. And watching this woman blow up her business and kind of being in the arena with her is just such a wonderful experience. And so I cannot wait to share with you just all of the magnetism, all of the divine wisdom that Kate has to share. So, Kate, would you be open to introducing yourself and telling everyone a little bit about you, who you serve, what you're
Oh
doing?
my good. Oh my goodness, of course. Thank you so much for having me. It's so funny when you get asked this question. I'm like, who am I? What do I do again? I'm so excited to be here. My name is Kate Wilkinson. I am a business and marketing coach. And my area of passion and expertise is helping my clients become not just known, but actually be seen as the category of one that they are in the online space. And we do that through their mindset, their strategy, their identity evolution.
Mm.
And we just make them into the incredible human beings that they are and make them fully known for the magic and the life-changing work that they do. And I'm so excited to be your guest today.
Yes, I'm so happy to have you on this
Yes.
stage. And I think this is such a wonderful topic for today that we can all appreciate from going through journey of entrepreneurship. And you start off and you're like, oh, well, I'm just a coach. I'm one of millions of coaches or whatever. And then it's like, oh no, wait, I am different. I am unique. I am a category of one. And when you start to own and embody that one of one energy, it hits differently. People feel that frequency on such a different level and it's magnetic. So I love that your work is so
Yes.
focused around calling people forward into that next level of power.
Yeah, absolutely. You totally nailed it. And the more I do this work, the more I coach in this space, the more that I evolve as a coach,
Yeah,
is the more I realize that the strategy is one part, but this is an identity game, first and foremost, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like had a flashback. There's like a plane flying over. I'm just having a flashback. We did an Instagram live together last week. And as I hit live, the shark alarm went off outside my house and there was this helicopter flying over. And I had to say to Katie, this is like the most Australian thing you're going to hear today, if not all week, which is, I'm sorry, there's a shark alarm going off. I felt like it was very like a dingo ate my baby kind of coded. So I'm really excited.
I didn't know if it was
So
a
who
metaphor for
knows?
something. I was like, okay. The shark
I
alarm
just
is here.
so yeah, who knows what's going to happen today? Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I've got nothing to compare that with, unfortunately. I just have a really grey sky behind me, which is probably like the very Manchester
So
thing to be
good.
sharing with you.
So good. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yes, yeah. I love what you just shared as well about this idea of evolving as well with your clients and evolving as you kind of
Mm.
play this identity game with yourself because yeah, we're in this for an evolution. It's not like the game of entrepreneurship is like, okay, you're done now, and now you're ready to coach other people, and now this is just where you're going to be
Yeah.
forever. Like this is a
Yeah.
whole journey of becoming that requires identity shifts again and again and again and upgrades and
Mm.
evolutions. I mean, fair enough if you're someone who wants to stand still and do the same thing for 20 years, but that's just not where we're at. That's just not what we do, Kate.
Absolutely. Totally. And I think that's such a valid point because I feel like we were somewhat deceived when we entered this entrepreneurial space. And we were kind of led to believe that you just keep scaling, right? You make
Mm.
2K months, and then you make 5K months, and then you make 10K months, and then you make 15 and 20 and 25, and it'll just keep compounding, right? And I feel like we just all expected our scaling to keep increasing like a beautiful line on a graph. And then
Yeah,
at some point, you reach a point in your journey and you realize that the strategy and the mindset and the identity that got you to the 5 and 10K months isn't actually going to be the thing that gets you to the 15 to 20, the 30, the 100K months.
yeah,
And it feels, it's almost like a shock at the time. And because you're just expecting things to keep compounding, it's really natural to like fall into this trap of thinking, well, this is it for me. Like, this is my ceiling. This is the place I'm supposed to operate from because it's not working anymore. The more work I do, the more of myself I pour into my business, nothing's changing. So this is obviously my limit.
Mm,
But then when you realize that it's just a deeper level of work that you need to do, then you can actually start shifting. And then you can actually start seeing how these big delusional goals are not only like in your future, but they can compound really quickly and things can start moving really fast after being stuck for a really long time, even if it's like months or years.
mm. I love this. It's kind of like this idea of melting the ice cube, if you like, and you have this
Mm.
one identity, this one strategy, this one thing, and you go through like the ladder is almost as if it's like a corporate job. You know, I used to be a lawyer and it'd be like, right, you're a trainee, and then some amount of time passes, and then you qualify, and then some more amount of time passes, and then, you know, if you hit your targets, you end up in, but fundamentally, your identity doesn't need to shift that much. You just get more experience
Mm.
at what you're doing. But
Yeah.
this idea of melting the ice cube is if you keep it in the same conditions in the same room, but it's just a couple of degrees off melting, it's not going to melt. And sort of time in the game, if you like, isn't going to be the thing that melts that ice cube. But if you're able to change environment, get it into like
Mm.
get it a little bit hotter, right? Then you're melting your ice cube. And so you get to realize, oh wait, this isn't actually about time. And maybe I don't want to just melt it into water. Maybe I want to make this gas. So maybe I don't just go into a room that's a little bit hotter. Maybe I go into a room that's way fucking hotter.
Yeah.
And then you get to see. So
Yeah.
yeah, the environment and the identity. And this is why
Mm.
kind of being in spaces with people who expand you is so powerful as part of that journey. And so how
Yeah.
wonderful that you hold that space where you can facilitate that transformation and do the deeper levels of work that is required for somebody to melt their ice cube and hit the level that they want to get
Mm.
to.
Yeah, I love that so much. And it's so true about being in the room with those that expand you, and not just, your coach, but also your fellow masterminders. But I remember our coach said to me a few weeks ago, your your goals are too small. You're dreaming way too small. You're trying to hit 50K months and you should be going for 100. And I felt like I was going to be sick when she said that, because not only did it feel so out of reach and there felt so much pressure around it, but I I knew also that I had to totally evolve my identity to become that person that could not only make that once, but could make it over and over again and hold that and
Yeah.
hold that level of visibility, of conviction, that level of self-trust that was like unwavering, regardless of what someone says about you on the internet, or if someone disagrees with you, or if a client leaves. And there's so many layers to that. And the thought of becoming that was really scary to me. Now I'm so much more neutral around it. At the time, I felt like she was like pushing me out of a plane. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go there. Please don't make me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think if you are on the precipice of your edge, it's gonna be
Mm.
triggering. It's gonna bring up your stuff, and it's designed to, because the things that are coming up are going to show you exactly the spaces where you need to put your work or get free in order to be able to meet that level. So
Mm.
I remember the first time I made like a pretty big chunk of money, and I like my body was not ready to hold it. My nervous system wasn't
Mm.
calibrated to hold that money. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get in so much trouble. Like someone's going to take this away
Mm.
from me. And that was where like
Mm.
my body went to like, it's not safe to hold this. Somebody's going to take this from me. And it was
Yeah.
beautiful because that revealed to me exactly, going back somatically, the kind of stories that were coming up that told me I shouldn't be making that kind of money, or who I
Mm.
needed to be in order to hold that, or where I was out of alignment. And so you can either be someone who gets like, pushed to the edge of the plane, ready to jump out and be like, are you going to go? And you pull out, you're like, no, we're not doing this.
Mm.
Or
Mm.
you're the one who's like, let's find out. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right. I can talk about this in like such a good analogy.
Yeah.
I had to have a hysterectomy almost 2 years ago. And
Mhm.
I had all these problems with my cycle. And my surgeon said hysterectomy for you. So at 38, I had a hysterectomy. And I couldn't exercise for months. I put on a lot of weight. I'd also carried a lot more big. And now I am incredibly fit. I love working out. It's actually more for my mind than my body. But I go to the gym 6 days a week. I love lifting. I just feel so good in it. And I was clearing out my wardrobe this week, and a lot of my clothes don't fit me anymore. They're too big. And part of my brain says, well, hold on to them because you're probably going to put all that weight back on. Right.
Yes. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. And I was like, Kate, like, what the actual? Like, I'm strong. I'm so strong in my body. I'm so fit. And like, yes, I can like now use my practical brain and be like, look, my life will not be over if I put on weight and I'll just go buy more clothes. Like I'm fine for it. But in that moment, I was like, I really had to have a conversation to myself that I could hold where I am now and I won't like throw it all away or go back to square one. I am safe in my body. I'm safe being the person I am. And I think that's just so true about what it feels like in business when you leap to this level that you have wanted for so long. And
Mm.
then you start thinking, but if I'm bigger, if I'm bolder, if I'm more audacious, if I'm more myself, is it all going to go away?
Yeah.
My is my audience going to turn their back on me? Are my clients going to want to leave? And the truth is like probably yes, but that's probably a good
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah,
Or
totally.
like maybe yes, maybe not. But if they do, that's totally fine. And you're just in like a different season of your life, and maybe you're holding your clients to a different standard, or they're not resonating with your mission anymore. You're claiming something deeper, and it's okay if that's just not a line. You know, we're all adults here, but you don't have to make yourself smaller to fit into that. And you don't have to like dull your dreams into like what feels safe or achievable or what it has always been.
Mm.
Mm,
Yeah, such a gorgeous analogy and a beautiful story. So thank you so much for sharing that.
my
Um,
pleasure.
and it's so good to notice this stuff as well, because largely these stories, these programs, they run on a subconscious level. So until you kind of have the courage to look at it and be like, huh, instead of just noticing this thought and just kind of allowing it to guide you, you're like, oh, wait a
Mm,
minute, that's interesting that I thought I had to keep these clothes. Why would I think that?
mm,
And then reassuring that
mm.
part of you that no, it's okay. This is who we are now. This is where we live now. This is what we're
Yeah.
doing. And even if we do gain weight, it doesn't mean anything about us. We can get new clothes. We don't have to
Yeah, that's
hold on
it.
to this. And yeah, I just think that's such a wonderful example, because a lot of the time you see people either, like, let's say extreme examples, maybe they like have a gastric band surgery, like lose a ton of weight, or
Mm,
even like they win the lottery and they get a ton of money coming in, but fundamentally they didn't change. So
mhm.
something changed externally. And this is why the mindset work, the inner work, is so powerful, because you become the kind of person that gets to hold the result versus it comes in, but you have no idea how to hold it or to keep it or to sustain it. So it will just
Mm.
kind of fall away fairly quickly. And so I
Yeah,
would love to know,
recalibrating to that new identity.
yes. And I would love to
Yes.
know in a more sort of practical way what that's looked like on your journey in terms of your business growth.
Mm. Such a beautiful question. You know, it can feel quite lonely at the top, right? It can feel quite lonely when you decide to step away from the pack and stop building a copy and paste business. It can feel quite lonely when you're the one who decides to go first. And it can feel really, obviously, very uncertain, but rather unsafe in your body in that time
Oh, yeah.
to say things that people have never said on the internet before, right? To express your opinion in your way,
Mm.
to create programs and serve clients and offer proximity that isn't the norm, just to like rebel against the way that everyone is doing things and decide to not only do things your way, but in a way that just really lights you up in business and you know is going to serve your clients in a different way,
Yeah.
it can feel really scary, uncertain, and lonely. And truly, the one thing that I had to neutralize in my business is that no one is coming to save me. No one is coming to tell me that I'm allowed to take up more space. No one is coming to like hand me a crown and be like, congratulations, Kate. Now you're allowed to say what's on your mind. Now you're
Yeah.
allowed to be this person, right? But so often, you know, a lot of us have this like programming, especially from like little girls, when we're told that like, don't be too much, don't take up too much space, put others before you, don't seem like you're being selfish, don't seem like you're being X,
Yeah.
Y, and Z. And so a lot of us kind of are carrying in this conditioning, and then we go into corporate jobs where we're taught that like, just
Yeah.
work hard and like sacrifice your personality and don't express yourself and
Yep.
become a cog in the machine, and that's going to be the thing
Yeah.
that makes you successful. And so
Yeah.
you just have to like peel away all of these layers of conditioning and truly just keep deciding every day that you're allowed to be exactly who you want to be online. You're allowed to have the goals that maybe 99.99% of the people in your day-to-day life don't understand or may be triggered by.
Mm.
And so that's really the neutralization of those feelings has been so powerful. And then also just being so sold on the fact that being a leader in this space, deciding to become known as the go-to, it isn't conditional. And again, like we're so taught to be like validated by the external in order to like claim the thing that's ours. And so what can so often happen is that we hold ourselves back because we're waiting for the validation for someone to tell us, or the money to come in, or to have a certain amount
Yeah.
of clients, or have the certain amount of money in our bank account, or be doing any of these external things as the validation that we are finally there, that we've made it, we're allowed to be this person. But detaching yourself from the external and knowing that you just get to decide whether you have like one client or no clients. And if you make no extra money this month, none of it matters,
Mm.
because your work and your mission and your movement and your values, your big
Yeah.
why, are so much more important than those things. And then the money and the cash and the clients come after the decision, not first.
Yeah. Oh, I love this so much. This is like really
Mm,
speaking to my soul and feels so. I feel like there's a big collective shift at the moment as well, because I'm seeing this go through with a lot of my clients as well. And as I told you on our live, kind of I'm in the middle of this as well at the moment. And this
mm,
idea of like when you shift and evolve and upgrade and you start to embody this new frequency and you decide this is who I am, this is who I'm being, and you start calibrating to that, there are going to be things that are no longer a frequency match for that inside
mhm,
and outside of your business. And so it might feel like you've got this garden and there's all of these things in, and suddenly it's empty. And then you look back and think, oh, actually, there was a lot of weeds in that garden before.
mhm,
And those have all
mhm.
fallen out now, those have all come away. And you're planting and you've planted all of these seeds that grow through these gorgeous flowers, but there's going to be a period where those flowers haven't kind of sprouted through yet. And it's very easy in that zone to see this kind of empty, like barren soil and be like, this is what I am. I'm nothing.
Mhm.
I've lost
Mhm.
everything. Right. Versus like,
Mm.
it's on its way. It's
Yeah.
coming. I just keep watering my garden. I keep planting my
Mm.
seeds. And I trust I'm not going to lose anything that's supposed to stay.
Yeah. And in those moments when your garden is barren, FYI, you're like the queen of analogies, but um, when your garden is barren, you can often turn around and think to yourself, I have made a grave mistake here.
Yeah.
And your natural response when you are going through this shedding season in business, where you are up leveling, perhaps you're losing clients, perhaps your engagement's down on Instagram, perhaps it's just feeling like none of it is working. so often in those vulnerable moments, your body just wants things to work and to find safety. And its immediate reaction, your brain's immediate reaction, can be to tell you to make yourself smaller, to retreat, right?
Mm.
To not keep elevating, but to shrink down to where the evidence is. So, for example, let's say you're like, I want to serve incredible humans that want to make like 50K months and like walk on stages and like set the world on fire and like, write books and dominate and serve thousands. And then you turn around to your garden, you're like, well, there's no evidence of them there yet, right?
Yes. Yeah.
What have I done? I've repelled the ones that weren't ready for this level of conversation. I turned away those that were there for me when I was speaking to a lower level, but now I've elevated and they've all gone.
Mm-hmm.
And your natural response can be so easily for your brain to tell you, make yourself smaller.
Yeah.
Go back to what worked.
Yeah.
Like stop elevating and shrink down to who is there and where the evidence is. Like, there are people that are struggling with different problems that you don't really want to solve anymore, right? Like if
Mm-hmm.
you want to be having higher level, deeper conversations, but the audience isn't there, your body's like, let's just go back to what we know. But it's in those moments when you just keep operating from that level of unwavering self-trust. It's like
Yeah.
that's the precipice where you just keep going. When you
Yeah.
stay a little bit delusional and you're like, it's fine, I'm trusting. And yeah, like I shared this last week in my feed, like I wrote this post, I was like, oh, your engagement's down? Good. Like
Yeah.
good, good. Because that client who pays 20K in full, they're still watching, keep going. And it's holding that trust. And again, it's just like holding the trust can feel so challenging, especially when you're looking for the evidence, right? Especially when the numbers are going down, the people in your DMs are misaligned, you're getting rejections, people are ghosting you. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm searching for the proof. Keep going. Like you are just on the edge.
Yeah. And this idea of searching for the proof, it's like if you're looking
Mm.
outside of you, you're looking in the wrong place. The
Yes, so
proof
true.
is you. You are the proof. And when you see that you are the evidence, it's like, how do I know I'm this person? Because I'm showing up as her every day, because of the moves I'm
Mm.
making, because of the way that I interact, the way that I speak, the way that I carry myself. Because if you
Mhm.
want to be in this space where you like 10x your business, you also have to 10x your standards. You also have
You
to
do.
be something different. So yeah, I really love what you shared. And this is the thing I think most takes people out of the game with it, is they look outside of them and they're like, nope, this tells me I'm not ready. This tells me like maybe I'm being
Mhm.
punished for making this choice even.
Yeah.
My clients are leaving and it'd be so easy to run back and be like, please take me back. But no,
Yeah.
like you can actually stay on that level. But and if that's where you want to be, that's okay. But if you are bold enough to live courageously and create your next level, yeah, there is going to be a part where you move and the world catches up. But if you
Yeah.
keep holding yourself there, it's you are the proof and it's inevitable.
It's so true. And your words, your content, your mission, your values should be calling in those that are aligned and repelling those who aren't. That is
Yes.
purely the job of your marketing activities, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I heard someone say the other day, you're never going to be liked by everyone. We know that. But if someone isn't going to like you, why not just relish in being the worst person they've ever met?
Like I could jump onto threads right now and be like, I love chai lattes. And people would be like, I hate chai lattes. They're the most disgusting thing I've ever like right. Like you truly cannot please anyone. And it's a conversation I often have with clients who are scaling and are ready for this leap, are ready for this next level. The conversation I'm quite often having with them is like, go be the villain.
Yeah.
Go be the villain. Like, have stronger boundaries, say the thing,
Yeah.
dare to be misunderstood. I dare you to say things that people may misunderstand. It's
I
okay.
love that.
People will always misunderstand you. You may be misinterpreted. You're not going out there with like malicious intent, but you truly cannot please anyone. Go be the villain.
Mm. Yeah, the villain that turns on your ideal clients so much.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right.
Hmm.
Because you get to set the standard.
Yeah.
So often early in my coaching journey, I would just shrink and flex and like shape shift to fit whoever was coming into my world, right? I was like, oh, you want
Yeah.
to do this? Let me bend this way for you. Oh, you want to do this? Let me bend this way for you. And I just became so lost. And clients would come into my world. I used to offer 3-month packages. They come into my world for 3 months and then they would leave because I wasn't actually expanding them in the journey. We weren't going on a journey together. They were just coming in to like tick a box of like, oh, you helped me make $2,000 this month or 5K months or my first 10K month, whatever it was. And then we did that, but I can't see us going anywhere because they couldn't see that I was expanding myself. And I also wasn't holding them to a higher level in my containers. I was just
Yeah.
trying to shape shift and people please. I wasn't standing for anything. And so I just had this really, really low retention rate in my coaching because there was just nothing for them to feel stretched to or held to or a standard that I was expanding them to.
Yeah. I think that's the one of the most powerful things that you can learn how to do is to create the space to see someone in their power and call them forward into more of that.
Yeah.
And sort of in their kind of like baby coach energy days is more like you're like, oh, I need to do this thing for them. And it's more like, how do
Mm-hmm.
I work with the human that's in front of me? Like versus
Mm-hmm.
like, who do I really want to work with? And maybe I call you
Mm-hmm.
forward into that, or maybe I attract that person. But it's just a much more powerful space of being. And I've certainly been embodying that a lot more in my business, but also more recently in my friendships as well, of noticing those spaces where I'm like, oh, this is where this is still showing up in my life. Um,
Mm.
Friendships where I innocently enable kind of bad behavior from somebody, innocently enable someone to live in their victim story. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't actually want to be in your victim story anymore because I see you as also the creator lovingly of your problems and also the solution to your problems. So if you want to stay in this space, I can't be available for that anymore. And then the more you do that, you create the space of like, I know where you're seeing yourself right now, but you're so bought into that, but that doesn't mean I have to be bought into it because this is how I see you. So how do you want to show up?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
some people are going to be like, no, I want to live here in my victim story and my pity party and stay here. Like, okay, I can't watch you do this to yourself again and again. And
Yes,
it's
so
that
true.
idea, yeah, this idea of
Mm,
like that good girl, people pleasing conditioning of like, oh, yeah, we have to nurture somebody and we have to just love them so much and want to be there to fix and heal them. And no, that doesn't serve anyone. It serves somebody to see them in their power and call them forward into their transformation. Because if you're always going down into the hole and picking them up and carrying them out again, they'll just fall down another hole because they didn't learn anything.
exactly right.
You
Mm,
teach them how to get out of that hole and you call them forward into it. And so, yeah, as I say, in this sort of era of my life, this shedding era, my garden's becoming a little bit bare at the moment with friends, but also is opening up for so much more deeper and more powerful connections that
mm.
hold a higher standard. And so, yeah, I'm really excited for that.
I love that. Yeah, I used to also be really scared of having the tough conversations with clients for fear that I would trigger them and then that would upset them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they wouldn't want to re-sign with me. Isn't that so funny? And
Mm-hmm.
I was having this exact conversation with my client today because we were talking about how she's coaching her clients and how she can hold them to a higher standard and having
Yeah.
those tough conversations that really uncover parts of themselves. And I told her a conversation that our coach had with me, which was um, very recently. This is so cringe. So I was selling a 500, I know, so like I look at myself, I'm like, Kate, what were you doing? I was selling a $500 offer a couple of months ago, and I was offering a two-part payment plan as part of that $500 offer. And she was like, what are you doing? I didn't even ask her to look at it. I asked her to look at the copy on the page, and she was like, "What is going on with your payment plan?" Right?
Yeah.
And we had a conversation. She was like, "Does your dream client like resist to pay $500 for an incredible like 2-week mini mind?" The answer, of course, is no, right?
Mm.
And but her just saying that uncovered a whole bunch of stories that I realized I had. And that was just like one layer that she kind of picked at. And I was like, well, actually, there's a lot under here. And as I sat with her, I realized that I was making a lot of decisions in my business with my pricing and my offers, my containers, my proximity that were coming from this fear of lack. And I was saying that I was calling in this like 20K painful client, like walk on stages, let's set the world on fire. But there
Yeah.
were leaks there and there was a misalignment. And when there's ever been a misalignment, that's when I've struggled to sign clients and make sales. And I was like, I've got something to
Totally.
solve here. And then I was looking at my coaching offer for my one-on-one. And I've always just offered 6-month coaching because that's what my first coach did. She had a 6-month coaching package. And I was like, copy and paste that one. I do that too, right? And that's what the industry has done. And that's the normal. And I thought people expect that. And then I was like, hold on, I feel like that decision is also being made from a place of fear and lack.
Yeah.
And so I was like, F this, it's 12 months, right? 12 months in my world. Because the truth is, none of my clients anymore just stay for 6 months. Like I've got clients that have been with me for 4 years. Everyone stays for at least a year. I've got like a 90% re-sign rate. But I
Yeah.
was making this decision that it had to be 6 months because I had this story that I was projecting that maybe a client wouldn't like the experience with me and they could be like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and they could leave
Mm.
after 6 months and they would be fine. And I'd feel good about that. Like I created this whole story, right? And like, and maybe they don't trust me enough to sign up for 12 months. So like they only want to sign for 6, all of these stories. And I was like, come on, that's not the dream client you're calling in. That's not the intentionality. That's not me operating from a place of like unwavering trust that dream clients, unicorns come and work with me. So it's 12 months now. And it's just like those small energetic like leaks, those small little holes in your like in your story, in your conviction that you just I'm constantly plugging these things. Like I'm constantly doing this work.
Yeah. Well, I always say entrepreneurship is such a good vehicle for transformation because the things that are looking to be kind of upgraded or more fully embodied within you, they're going to show up in different places. And if you're looking,
Mm.
you'll see, oh, that showed up in my payment plan today. Like, what a gift. And you get to kind of, I say it's like a video game, like go and collect those gold coins and get to your next level.
Mm.
And this is why, as coaches, it's so powerful to do your own work because if you're not doing your own work around your money stories, you'll project them onto your clients.
Yes.
And so the more that you start to embody the dream client that you want to attract, the more you are going to attract those dream clients because you're going to be on that frequency where like attracts like. And I see that already. Clients sometimes they come to me, they meet their edge and they're like, okay, we're going for 6 months. Okay, we'll pay in full. Ah. And then guess what? They get a
Mm.
ton of clients come and pay in full for 6 months.
Mhm.
Because you
That's
kind of
it.
break that barrier and say like, oh no, it's possible to do this thing. And you get to see if the story was something like where you see someone in a disempowered view of like, oh, well, if they spend all that money up front, then they might not be okay financially and they might, or whatever it is that's kind of running on more of a subconscious level. Then when you do it, I spoke a little bit on our IG live about how I recently made a huge investment in a year-long mentorship program. And it was the most money I've ever spent in my life. And I felt so good spending it, so excited spending it. And I get to see like that's how my clients feel when they sign up to my programs. And
Yes.
even kind of upgrading the level to which I was spending at versus in the past, I would have chosen coaching containers where I'm like, oh yeah, I can afford that. That feels okay. Like this one was
Yeah.
an edge. It was a stretch, and that required me to evolve to be able to hit that pay button. It required me to be a new version of myself and enter into a new era. And so it's like doing that alone, I feel like I already got my investment back.
Love that so much.
Yeah. And you get to see like the old version of me, baby coach Katie, early days. She would have felt like, wow, if someone pays that much money, they better be getting so much stuff, right? And no,
Yeah.
that's such a it's such a beginner mindset. Whereas I'm like, oh, I hit the pay button and that was well worth the 25K I spent on it.
Right. I know, like, yeah, I mean, our dream clients didn't wake up this morning and think, I'm looking for a 6-month coaching program that has 5 days a week in Telegram. Like,
No.
that is not, that's not the transformation they're craving. That's not the expansion that they're craving. And yes, of course, like proximity matters and like being coached matters. I'm not saying that like I
Yeah.
completely agree with the way that some programs are run and the way that sometimes people are handed off to co-coaches, etc. But the value isn't in the amount of calls you get per month, right?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not all the things that you're doing in this laundry list of stuff that's included. It's what is the transformation? Who am I going to become when I go on this journey with you? And is it a match? Is it the way that you like to be supported? And I think, yeah, I mean, I could go on about this for ages, but like this identity piece of what you think you need, and when you're the identity of like, let me just look outside of me for the solutions versus, oh wait, I'm the
Yeah.
solution, I'm the evidence. But how do I tap into more of that? And how do I like to
Mm.
work? Do I like a more, masculine approach of do, go, 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 do this funnel,
Yeah.
tick all these boxes, or do you prefer that something that's more embodied, feminine, magnetic, and then finding something that is a match to something that stretches you, that allows you to
Mm.
become that version of you that does have the things that you want, that is working with the
Yeah.
dream clients you want to be working with, that does have the
Yeah.
business and the lifestyle that matches the things that turn you on so much.
Mm. It's so true. I used to baby coach me, used to choose my coaches choose my coaches based on their business model and think, okay, if I work with them, they've made their money by having a one-on-one and a mastermind, and I'll copy and paste their
Yeah.
business model into mine and I will be successful. Watch me go.
Yes. Uh-huh. I'm like,
Right?
hands up if you've ever done that. Yes.
Tick, tick, tick. That's all I need to do. Yeah. It's so
I
funny,
know,
isn't
so
it?
innocent.
The place that you make decisions from when you just don't know. And then you get in the right rooms and you're like, okay, wow, this is the conversation I needed to have.
Yeah,
Mm.
beautiful. Oh my gosh, I feel like we have already kind of just shared so much power in terms of like your
Mm.
journey and what your clients are experiencing. But is there anything today that you feel like we haven't spoken about that you think would be really powerful for people to hear today?
Oh, no, that's such a good question. I mean, the one thing I like, the one change I want to see in our online space is for more people just to claim their brilliance. One thing I love to always say is, you came to this place complete. And I know that our industry and marketers and coaches are always talking about like the secrets and a gap and always making us feel like we are lacking something. But
Mm,
truly, the one thing I know about both of our communities is that we attract truly brilliant humans who do incredible life-changing work that is so worthy. And there is no gap there. You don't need to solve some part of yourself. You don't need to like do an accreditation, learn another thing, take another course, download another thing.
mhm.
You don't need any of those things. You are so perfectly complete right now as you are. And I want you to claim that now. There is nothing missing. There's nothing else for you to solve. I want you to claim like the heck out of it. Because, like I talked about before, it's not your worthiness in this space to become known as the go-to, to really lead a movement, to make the world really aware of the change that you are here to make. It's not conditional. And
Mm.
so I just want more people to brag on their brilliance more at like the most basic level. I want you to own the F out of your magic. That's what I want.
Ah, what a gorgeous desire for people and then for your clients. And yeah, I would say wholeness is a big part of the work that I do, and
Mm,
tuning into what is there, what is looking to be more fully embodied and owned. And
mm,
yeah, I love this idea. The more you tune into your success as well and your greatness, the more that you see it, the more that you amplify it. And being in sort of mastermind spaces as well, it's so wonderful because you get to see your greatness reflected back to you through others as well
mm.
as
I
you
love
learn
it.
and evolve and grow together. So yeah, I'm so grateful that we get to be in this space where we get to be each other's mirror in that way.
Me too. I love it so much. It's so I used to I used to have this story that I was only like a one-on-one client. I only ever work with my coach one-on-one.
Yeah.
And and now I realize that I am just like a mastermind girly for life. Like,
Yeah.
and I used to be so scared that I would be triggered by other people's success, that I would be the one that was like being left behind and everyone was expanding. But honestly, it is just the most beautiful, nourishing, expansive space to be in a group full of powerful human beings who are so big-hearted, are so in love with the work that they do, and are just here to change the world for good. It's like it really feels like there's magic in the air.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yes, we love to see it.
so good.
Oh, okay, Kate. So before we close out, can you let everyone know where they can find you, what you've got going on? If people want to come and play in your world, how do they do that?
Of course. So I'm on Instagram at It's Kate Wilkinson, and I am rather multi-passionate and I'm always dropping offers. So who knows at this time of listening what I will be selling. Um, my highest touch containers are a mastermind called Blaze, and I also have one-on-one coaching called Expanded. So if you want to have a convo about either of those, dive into my DMs and yeah, come and follow along. I also have a podcast that I've released. So many things. I'm just like, I've also decided to be on LinkedIn and TikTok. So like, but Instagram is my home. The
She's
multi-passionate
doing it
woman.
all.
I know I can't help myself. That's just not the way that I teach to run business, but rather like do the things that make business feel really fun for you. So that's what I love to do for myself. Yeah. So Instagram is my absolute home. So yeah, come and join because I know that Katie and I have so many commonalities with the types of humans that we love to serve in our world, and the impact that we're here to make, and how we love nourishing our communities. So yeah, I'd love to connect.
Yeah, amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Kate. Everyone go
Pleasure.
follow, like, share, subscribe, all the things. And I will see you very soon. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your magic.
Thank you.